I'm David Hoffman, documentary filmmaker, and the course that I'm about to teach you is one that involves how to make a documentary. Well, to me, a documentary is anything that isn't fiction. YouTube, home movie, movie, television show, feature documentary, short film. I've done it all. This is my 58th year making films. I've made hundreds of public television films and films for Discovery Channel and the History Channel. I've made dozens of television commercials, big time ones for AT&T and others. I've made hundreds of government films and documentaries for corporations, educational films. And these days, I'm kind of a minor star on YouTube, David Hoffman Filmmaker. What I care about in this class is so that you come out of it with the critical things you need in order to be successful. They're not what you think. This is going to have technical stuff in it. The camera, the editing equipment, the budget, the lighting, how to set up the crew, how to get permission, all going to be there. But the critical things are asking the right questions along the way. What questions to ask yourself and others, and what answers do you need to get to be successful? So my course is going to have everything in it that are the details of how to do this from the very start to the distribution. And let me remind you again, this is any level of filmmaking. This kind of the same rules apply. So if this is your first documentary, this is your first film, it's a wedding film, it's a home family vacation film, it's a YouTube film, it's a corporate film, you're going to sell your startup. The rules that I'm going to go over with you, the techniques that I'm going to use will apply and will help you to succeed. These days, I love YouTube as my distribution medium. I have 87 million views, 150,000 views a day, 180,000 subscribers, just talking about things I've seen, things I've filmed, and how I feel about them and other people feel about them today. So I love YouTube, and I'm going to tell you a lot about YouTube in my course instruction. Whatever level of equipment you've got, I'm going to talk about it, because I don't believe in this day and time, unless you're making a feature, which I will talk about, or a documentary for TV, the equipment is really that important. It's not about what kind of camera you're using. It's not about how good your lighting is, unless you're going for TV, Netflix. I'll talk about that. It's about what you do with it, what's in front of the camera, and about audio more than video by a lot. You're looking at something on a cell phone, you're looking at some giant scene of Africa. I can't even see it, but I can hear it. I'm going to talk to you about that as well. So the class will begin with thinking out an idea and evaluating how good it is. Then the second class will look at coming up with that idea on paper, beginning to get ready, possibly going for funding if you need it, coming up with a basic budget, pre-production, absolutely critical. How do you set up the right locations? How do you get permissions? How do you deal with releases? All that stuff. And then production. Now you're shooting. And then post-production, editing. I'm going to spend a lot of time on editing. It's going to be a long class, but I think well worth your time, because editing is where stuff happens in a non-scripted format. If you're scripted, you're working from the script. If you're not scripted, you're building the story no matter what you thought when you shot it in the editing room. Then completion, the online edit, the mix, sound, absolutely critical. Then distribution. I'm going to tell you about every distribution channel available to you and show you what it needs to get to that channel. What kind of pitch, the pitch. I'm going to share with you the pitch. So I'm hopeful that you take my class and that you interact with me. I'm going to make myself available the entire time to students to interact with me. Now, my project is one that should be very valuable and a lot of fun, and you get to interact with me all along the way. I'm kind of like the executive producer, batting back and forth ideas with you, provoking you to do better. Thank you very much. Take the course, give it a try. You won't forget this experience with David Hoffman. And if you want to know more about me, go to www.youtube.com/all-in-a-day, or David Hoffman Filmmaker. And you're going to find 1,600 clips about filmmaking, about me, about history. I think you'll enjoy it. Thanks, folks.